Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Unscripted and Unchained RPG Review. I am GM Bloodworth, and as you can see by the graphics, today's video I am going to be doing a review of the physical copy of Swords and Wizardry Complete Revised. So, got this about a week ago and haven't gotten time to actually start looking through it yet. I, of course, had the PDF for a while and started doing my review of the PDF. I give you my first impressions of it, but once I got the hardcover in hand, and I'll go through and talk about how you can get this as well, and begun my flip through of the pages and such. My impression of this has greatly expanded just by having the physical copy in my hand and looking through it and seeing how it is laid out. For some reason, it didn't translate the same way, as the PDF compared to actually having the hardcover in hand. So, without further ado, I am going to, instead of going through the PDF with you, I will certainly do that when I go into videos in the future covering the specific game mechanics and such. But so I won't be going on the PDF at all today. What I will be doing is I'll just be doing a flip through and holding it up to show you the sections that are really catching my eye, and then I'll finish up with going to Drive Through RPG and showing you how and where you can pick this up. So without further ado, let's shift screens and we'll go into full screen here. So here you have it. It is 140 pages, so not a very thick volume here, and it is, it's really nice. I mean, the um, the way that it opens up, you don't have to bend too far, on the pages in order for it to lay virtually flat. It's certainly flat enough that you can easily read it without worrying about the binding in any way. So it's a pretty sturdy book. So I like that about it. Um, Going through, and you have your first page is the table of contents, and it's very clear, all on one page, which I do like. I don't like rule books where you'll have 2 or 3 pages of tables of contents. Even if I'd rather them be much more compact, let's say. So of course this is written by Matt Finch. The editors include Matt Finch and Susie Mosby. Artists, a whole list of artists and everything. So I recommend that you go through those and take a look at them. This is the 2023 from Mythmere Games, and with all the world, the buzz right now in our hobby over some of the things being talked about, Gary Gygax's legacy and such. In particular, I do want to just briefly read this introduction, which is right here. And it better explains what the purpose of this book is, and this game system is. So, in 1974, Gary Gygax, 1938 to 2008, and Dave Arneson, 1947 to 2009, wrote the world's first fantasy role-playing game, a simple and very flexible set of rules that launched an entire new genre of gaming. In 1975, the first supplement to these rules was published, with Rob Kuntz as Mr. Gygax's co-author, along with 3 other supplements. We call these rules the original game. What you are reading is an unofficial, restated version of the rules of the original game, created using materials that Wizards of the Coast has made available through the Creative Commons license. It is not an exact reproduction, mainly for legal reasons. But in the 1970s, no group of gamers played precisely the same version of the original game anyway. The 1970s was a decade of freaky improvisation, weird fantasy, and rebellion. And that's swords and wizardry. If you if that's how you roll, all the rest is just details. The Swords and Wizardry rules are short compared to the multi page rules libraries required to play most modern role playing games. Yet this game contains within itself all the seeds and soul of a mythic fantasy, the building blocks of vast complexity, the kindling of wonder. The original game is so powerful because it encapsulated, in a small formula, like a genie kept imprisoned in a small compass of an unremarkable lamp. Take this framework and then imagine the hell out of it. Enjoy, Matt Finch. So you have a true an homage to the original creators Gary Gygax and Dave Arneson, plus others such as Rob Kuntz, and you and it explains what this game system is meant to be. All right, it is a restatement of the original rules, not a reimagining or any of those modern buzzwords that are often taken as a negative with a negative connotation, but just a restatement of them, and that usually falls in the lines of formatting changes and such, and that's what I'm going to start talking about now. So here you have the primary character sheet, and it is very, very simple, straightforward. You have the character name right up on the top, and then you have class, alignment, age, ancestry, deity, level, experience points, the prime attribute, experience bonus, if any, hit points, saving throw, and armor class. You have your strength, dexterity, intelligence, wisdom, and charisma, along with the attribute bonuses based on those stats. You have your class abilities. You have your gold and treasure, coins, gems, and others. You have your items and equipment. You have your movement rate. You have your weapons. You have your weapons that you can list on here. Room for 5 different weapons, including damage to hit bonuses and range if necessary. You have your roll to hit the armor classes of 0 through 9. And then you do have a back page of it right here that has your spells, your thief skills, and your notes. The one thing I would say that might be necessary to put on here, and again, I haven't delved too deeply into it, but if you're going to have thief skills and spells on every single character sheet, then a clerical turn on dead table might be also warranted. Looking at the layout itself, I mean, I love the fact that how clear this is, and you will see it says player guide, bang, right there. Very, very bold, large print that is easy to follow, and that on very, very clear white pages just makes everything jump out at you. So I'm really impressed with how this has translated. Again, for some reason, the PDF, comparing the PDF to the actual physical copy, it's just altering my overall impression of the game itself in a very positive way. So if I were to run this, I would absolutely run this using the book itself, and then I would just use little, those little post-it tabs here and there where necessary, so that I can quickly flip through the book to get to what I'm looking to, looking to look up. Also, um, again, it's a small volume. It's only 144 pages. So there's not a whole lot that you have to dig through and tear through to get to everything you could possibly need for this game system. The other thing is that this is a single volume game system, right? So it is complete. So you have your player's guide, you have your dungeon master's guide or game master's guide, and you have your monsters tables as well. Um, Going through, we have some very traditional classes that were in old school D&D and then were removed come second edition. But we have our assassin here, and so you have your assassin, your cleric, your druid. Druid's an introduction. You have your fighter, you have your magic user, you have your monk, your paladin, your ranger, thief, called a thief, not a rogue. And then it goes to choosing your alignment. So the alignment here uses the oldest of the systems. So it is using law and chaos, and and then neutrality. So you only have the three phases or possible alignments in the game system, but it does nuance them very well, and I'll focus a little bit about that in in a more full review of the system later on. So choosing your a character ancestry, so you have dwarves, elves, half-elves, halflings, and humans. All right, so it does use the terminology of ancestry, instead of race. So there is some restating, let's say, of the original. So buying equipment, there is so you have here once again a single page of equipment. Then you go to your weapons and your missile weapons, so melee, missile weapons, and armor, all on a two-page layout here. So everything very, very self-contained and compact. Weight and movement, and then how to play. And here you have up here is the tab here where it says player, right? So you know that you're in the player section because as you're flipping through this booklet, you're going to see everything that is player facing, associated with things that the player needs to be aware of. They have the quick method of ascending armor class, formula. So they have that here. So if you wanted to use ascending versus descending armor class, it's certainly very easy to find here. The layout is really, really impressive. I just like the way that it has all of the information you need for a particular topic, either on one page or on the two-page spread, and then it moves on into the next category. So here we have the turning undead table, which I said, might actually, if possible, get that on the player character sheet as well. So gameplay example, so there's a section here on gameplay example, and let's see if that is, so this takes several pages, and this is one of the few things that I see here that takes several pages. Then we go to high-level adventuring, and a focus on the stronghold. and then you have a castle, the Castle of Kadir Pass, and then hiring. So it's just, I guess, this is building a stronghold. So yeah, so it has a stronghold and then the building of a stronghold. Categories, you have hiring followers. Then we get into the section on magic and spells. So once again, very, very clear as to when you're going into a whole new chapter. And here you have the spell listings. I like the fact that you have all of these spells for magic users, clerics, and druids on a single page. So very, very quick reference to find out what spells are out there. That's really useful for game masters when you're trying to randomly generate spell scrolls that the player characters might encounter, or even spell books populating them. So the spells are listed in alphabetical order. All right, on here, and we have quite a number of spells. Going through. Then you have your section on spell descriptions here. And again, their layout is very straightforward. So it has the spell level, the range and the duration, then a description of it, and then where necessary, like here with Ariel's Servant, all right, it actually has the stat block of what an Ariel Servant is, which is really nice. I'm not sure if that will come up in other places, but it did stat block out an Ariel Servant there. So now I'm looking specifically for if it does that elsewhere. And not just as yet. Like monster summoning, well, there's too many choices for monster summoning to do that for every possibility. But you get the idea. It does really lay it out very, very well. Now we get to the referee's guide. And you can see some of the internal art is really, really good. Really enjoy that art style. And so, and again, I am going to focus on each of these sections in separate videos to go in much, much more detail. But here you have a sample dungeon map. And again, that layout still continues to go through where everything is self-contained either on a single page or on a two-page spread, as you can see here. We continue going through the referee section here, so they don't call it a game master or a dungeon master, obviously, but it's called a referee. We have special combat rules that we have in this section here, and it's going through, so it has siege combat. This covers several pages. So that does make sense because there's a lot. There's a lot that's going to be found in the combat section. Then we get to a referee session log. So here we have a referee session log that is included. So you have the player name, the character, the class and level, the genders and ancestry, you have the alignment, you have the abilities, special abilities, combat adjustments. So it's kind of like a spreadsheet that will help the game master kind of be able to see, or the referee be able to see all of their base information that's necessary. Their marching order, their light sources, treasures, then monster name, hit die, yada yada, number of appearing, unusual events that took place during it. So basically a general log of if you wanted to use a format to make a log for a session log. The monster section, you can see that they are fairly small stat blocks, right? Some description, but not a whole lot. And so very, very straightforward and concise. And then, let's see, we have quite a bit of monster section here. And then we get to the treasures. So the treasure section here. And creating a random treasure hoard. So you have various charts and such. Again, I love the simplicity of the book. It's very, very easy to do a random treasure and then to look up the stats and everything all right there, self-contained. So really, really impressive. I'm really surprised how the translation between the hardcover and the PDF just gives me a different impression. How much more impressed I am with the physical copy. So it's one of the few times where I could see myself almost solely using the physical copy while running a game. Whereas, I usually mix it, having both the physical and the PDF for when I'm running a game now. So really enjoyed that. So let's take a look at DriveThruRPG. So it is still currently on sale on DriveThruRPG, and it is normally $45.57, but you can get the hardcover and the PDF included for a base value of $40, base cost of $40. So if you just want the PDF, you can get that for $5.57. If you want just the hardcover, which doesn't make sense, you can get it for just the $40, or combined, you're going to get it for just $40 for, I guess, some time. It is still, I just refreshed this page, so it is still currently on a sale price. So I recommend that you pick that up. As you can see, I had the PDF for quite some time, and it was added, well, actually it was added back then. I don't know exactly when I picked up the PDF, and then the hardcover much, much later. So really enjoy it, really, really good. There are other things like additional cleric spells, druid spells, magic user spells, and all of these little additions are fairly cheap. There's the referee screen. That's one thing I might want to look into, is the inserts portrait. Also on sale, $2.50 as opposed to $4. So that might be something of use to pick up. I like getting referee screens in physical copy as well. But you can always run these things off. If it's not a whole lot of pages, let's see. Is there 1, 2, 3, 4, I guess 5 pages. 5 pages of referee materials. That's not too many. So it might work out well for inserts. If you have a screen that can accept different inserts. So anyway, so there you have it, the physical copy review of Swords and Wizardry complete. I'm really very impressed with it. So I hope you enjoyed this video. As always, I look forward to seeing you on a gaming screen or at a gaming table at a convention sometime soon. If you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing, and like the video, comment the videos, share the video out there. Anything that really gets the algorithm of the channel going is much appreciated. And you enjoy the rest of your weekend. And as always, just keep on gaming out there. Keep on trying different game systems, and and mix up the genres as well. That's another conversation I've been having lately, especially on X recently. Talking to someone and saying, these are all the different games that I'm running, and even though I keep on going back and grabbing other OSR, other OSR D&D based games as well. I really do try to mix it up, especially on this channel. I try to mix it up as much as possible. Keep on bringing you different game systems that you might not have had a chance to see before. So, take care, everyone. Thanks for stopping in.